Hello, and welcome to the Augustana Campus from wherever you are watching this, whether it's your bedroom, office, kitchen, or living room. I want to invite you to come and walk the steps of this beautiful campus who a lot of you may remember very well. I'm Jon McCorquindale, and I'm here from the Student Academic Services Office, where I'm an admissions advisor. I've given a tour or two in my tenure here, but I gotta say this whole virtual business really throws a new spin on it. So this might not go as smooth as usual, but I'm excited to showcase all of the new and old that Augustana has to offer. I'm also an alumni of this place. I walked the stage in 2012, and I'm joined here by Trina Harrison. She too, as many of you know, is an alumni. But the history of this place goes back far beyond when we studied on this campus. Some of you watching this may have studied here 10, 15, 20, 30, 110 years ago. If any of you studied back when this thing first got put up, hats off. We have to have a chat about longevity. That's pretty phenomenal. But without further ado, I want to take you through Augustana as we have today. And a lot has changed even in the last few years, so I'm excited to showcase what we have. Come on.
In the late 18th and early 19th century, the peasant farmers of Norway were experiencing a time of hardship. You didn't think this is how the story is going to start here on campus, did you? After a spiritual liberation movement, treaties signed with the indigenous peoples on this land, the meeting of churches and boards, fundraising, and many other important developments that can't fit into our 20-minute tour video, the Alberta Norwegian Lutheran College Association becomes a reality, and classes at Camrose Lutheran College, or CLC, begin at Heatherbrae Hotel in downtown Camrose. Yeah, the story still actually doesn't start here. But as a clever joke, when Founders Hall, Augustana's iconic campus building, was restored in 2014, staff and faculty who had offices in the building moved into this transitional facility, which we named after the very first transitional facility in our history where CLC began, Heatherbrae Hotel. Aren't we funny? We think we're funny. In October of 1912, classes could finally begin here at Camrose Lutheran College, in a building that you might remember as Old Main or Founders Hall. It was planted right here. See? It wasn't until about August of 1983 that Founders was moved back to where it currently stands. We'll head there later, but first, some more history. Back in 1912, tuition was about $5 per month, or $40 per year. And Camrose Lutheran College enrolled about 40 girls and 70 boys in high school, parochial, stenography, and music classes. In March of 1913, the Alberta Norwegian Lutheran College Association was incorporated by the Alberta legislature, which means that the government and the association would work together to create and maintain CLC as a place where students may obtain a liberal education in the arts and the sciences. Over the next several decades, CLC did just that. In 1927, CLC hired Chester Ronning as principal, who left a profound impact on the institution with his principled and humane leadership and promotion of music and public affairs. He was even said to secure a donation from one tight-fisted Viking farmer by defeating him in a wrestling match during the Great Depression in order to ensure CLC continued. And continued it did. In 1952, this building didn't exist. Not a real shocker, considering I don't think this type of architectural design and material existed back then, but that's beside the point. Instead, North Hall sat here, and I'm sure you remember that lovely building by many different names. It originated as a girls' dormitory. After what is now Hoimi, our first-year residence complex, was built, the girls didn't need to be separated from boys by buildings, just merely a lobby. It became a space for faculty and staff offices and music practice rooms. North Hall was renovated to make way for the Lougheed Performing Arts Center, which opened in 2014. A joint initiative through the City of Camrose and the University of Alberta, the performance space was created to celebrate our cultural achievements and provide Camrose and area residents access to the performing arts, and it has definitely lived up to those expectations. The center has 2 performance spaces, including the Cargill Theatre, which has a capacity to seat over 580 people, and the largest integrated solar panel system in Canada, and the first theatre in North America to use entirely LED lighting. I never thought I'd live to see a theatre power plant combination, but I guess here we are. Over the years, it has hosted world-class performers, including the Bare Naked Ladies, Serena Ryder, Jan Arden, and many, many more. Just a short distance away is the classroom building, which was completed in 1959 as the junior college building. It was built to accommodate growth after first-year university or junior college courses were introduced at CLC as an affiliated college of the University of Alberta. Although we aren't the most creative namers of buildings, 12 whole students enrolled in that first class. Over the next decade, professors with PhD credentials were hired, and we entered the big leagues. Here, we have one of our new science labs, graced with large windows so students in the arts can see what a science education looks like. Just kidding. In September of 2017, Augustana opened 5 newly renovated science lab spaces. 2 biology lab, a research chemistry lab, and this chemistry lab. They were designed to be transparent, accessible, and innovative. Plus, you can write on these lovely windows. Depending on when you were here, you may remember the library, or the lab office, or the prospective student office living in this building. In 2010, the library moved to its new and very impressive space in the student forum, and this space was turned into an innovative learning classroom, equipped with smart boards for student presentations and small tables for intensive group work.
We told you the new library was impressive! Sorry, back to the 70s.
In 1975, tuition was about $200 per term, or $400 for the year. Wow, my mind's blown right now. The Vikings men's hockey team won the first Canadian Colleges Athletic Association CCAA hockey championship, competing against other much larger schools at every level. And our 2 Ravine residents, Solheim and Ronning Hall, were built, followed by the rest of them, Moy, Markin, Anderson, and Berg the year after. Life is sure good to live on campus at Augustana. Just this summer, Markin Hall was upgraded to include a newer paint and color scheme, vinyl instead of that lovely carpet, a larger kitchen, upgraded bathrooms, light fixtures, and curtains on the closet. We came back this year with a limited number of students living in residence due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which meant they got first crack at these newly renovated rooms. Making the best out of a bad situation, I guess. Lucky ducks. Each day, for our students to get to the rest of campus, they need to traverse this ravine, where they're battling shoulder-high shrubbery, feet of snow in the winter, a raging creek at the bottom, and the local Camrose wildlife. I'm sure many of you remember close encounters with those deer. Come with me as I show you the path that they take. You know what? On second thought, why don't we just take the land bridge? This is much better. Before, this was a paved pathway It was a wooden bridge just over there, named Ole's Crossing or Ole's Cross, after its builder, Professor Orlando Olson, who taught physics and mathematics at Augustana from 1964 to 1998. That's quite the impressive tenure there. Professor Olson is a great example of the kind of individual we seek to educate at Augustana. A math and physics professor who can construct an entire bridge and love this institution enough to do so. Ole's Crossing connected the Ravine residents to the rest of campus for over 30 years before being replaced in 2009. From 1983 to 1985, CLC becomes the first fully accredited private undergraduate degree granting institution in Alberta. Whew, that genuinely took me about 9 takes to get right. And it is able to grant BA and BSc degrees for specified 3- and 4-year liberal arts and sciences programs. Because we keep on growing, 2 new residence wings expand Hoyme Hall in the first-year residence, now Hoyme Complex, and another new building was erected just around the corner, formerly the Auxiliary Building, now the Ravine Studio Building, which offers classroom space. Classes still take place in these buildings when there isn't a pandemic ravaging this world, including art courses and studio time. In 1989, Camrose Lutheran College becomes, drumroll please, the Camrose Lutheran University College. Bam! Big changes overnight.
Here I am with this dapper young fellow, a face many of you may recognize. He's aged pretty well since he first appeared here in 1987 to commemorate the 75th anniversary of this institution. I don't know if it's a cream or what, but I gotta get his secrets. You probably also recognize him from just about every single photo that goes up on our website. Definitely a famous face.
Other notable sculptures on campus include Royden Mills's Augustana, Beyond a Certain Phrase, which commemorates the first century of education here at Augustana. Every year, the bell is rung by the dean to begin the term, and every student gets the chance to ring the bell on the last day of classes at Augustana at the end of their degree. In 2016, Augustana was lucky to acquire Stuart Steinhauer's Treaty Bear statue, a Treaty 6 territory marker that acts as a reminder of the fact that the treaty was signed, that the British and then Canadian government recognized that the Indigenous people owned the land, and that the treaty was signed to share the land. Augustana installed the statue permanently through the support of generous donors in April of 2019. The next few decades bring with them quick and massive change. In 1991, Camrose Lutheran University College, affectionately known as CLUC, can I just add that is a top-tier acronym? Anyway, it changes its name once again to Augustana University College, as it hosts its last grade 12 graduation 1 year later. During the 90s, AUC launches the kind of innovative international programming that is now a defining characteristic of Augustana's education, including a rural development exchange program in Ghana. We also got high-speed internet, which helps our students study more effectively. Perhaps one of the most defining characteristics of our history occurs in 2004, when AUC merges with the University of Alberta to become the University of Alberta's Augustana Campus, as we know it today. The campus grows exponentially, creating what is now the Student Academic Services Office, formerly known as Learning, Advising, and Beyond, or LAB, the Indigenous Student Services Office, the Augustana Fitness Center, which has now moved onto campus, which is pretty sweet, as well as the establishment of the Chester Ronning Center for the Study of Religion and Public Life, and the Alberta Center for Sustainable Rural Communities. In 2010, this forum was completed, giving Augustana the student space that it so desperately needed. In 2015, Augustana opened the Wekotowin Lodge as a gathering place for everyone on campus. This beautiful space was created in the spirit of Wekotowin, a Nehio Plains Cree concept related to kinship. Here we are in the gym, or Convocation Center. It was completed in 1964. Many wins, losses, and hard-fought nail-biters have taken place here over the years as the Vikings storm the court. It has been a big part of my time at Augustana as well, where I both played and coached volleyball. The environment here is electric, and the Augustana fans have and continue to hold a reputation of being the best in the league. It's also home to a lot of great campus recreation programming, helping our student body keep fit and unwind throughout the school year. But this place isn't all fun and games. Many of you may remember the rows of desks during exam weeks, or donning your regalia while walking the stage at the end of your degree. Although it is quiet this year, you can't often find this place without something happening. About a half hour away from campus is the Augustana Mykolon Lake Research Station, nestled in the quiet beauty of Mykolon Lake Provincial Park, an area with a high level of biodiversity and geologically unique features. And frankly, as an arts grad, that whole thing is above my head. The research station was built in spring of 2015 and contains both residences and laboratory spaces. Students who take Augustana's 3-week field ecology course spend the entire 3 weeks living and studying at the station, where they design and test research projects by day and hang out around the campfire by night. Another exciting development will soon open at the research station, the addition of the Heshi Observatory, which includes a stationary telescope and observation deck. Since Mykolon Provincial Park is a dark sky preserve, it is the ideal location for an astronomical observatory. Augustana is looking forward to hosting classes and community program at the observatory, which also includes a classroom and a smaller portable telescope. Another important student space is the Rashmi Ballet Learning Commons, which was dedicated to the late alumna in 2017. During the dedication ceremony, her father spoke of Rashmi, who showed immense commitment to friends, campus activities, and her role with the Augustana Students Association. The Learning Commons embodies her personality in that it fosters interaction and seeks to provide assistance just as Rashmi did. The Rashmi Ballet Learning Commons lives on the second floor of the library and is connected to Founders Hall through the Alvar and Arlene Person Pedway, named after two individuals who were an active part of Augustana for many, many years. The Pedway helps connect students to faculty offices in Founders Hall, and also faculty to coffee, giving them a warm walk to Monica's during the winter months. Technology Learning Services also moved into Founders, though not many of us are on campus just yet. And finally, students can come down the stairs and end up here, in the Founders Hall family room, where they can pick up their mail from reception, stop in at the alumni office, or check out what the Chester Ronning Center has going on. Founders Hall was renovated from top to bottom in 2014, and an elevator was added to make it more accessible. Can you believe that the entirety of Camrose Lutheran College used to exist within these four walls? Everything from dorm rooms to the cafeteria to classrooms and laundry used to be housed here for every student attending the high school. Wow, how things have changed. One thing that remains, however, is our commitment to the student experience and how much our history still informs our present. We continue to develop innovative ways to teach and learn on this campus, from the introduction of our 3-week schedule to the new interdisciplinary majors that broach subjects like crime, law, and justice or ethics and global studies. we seek to educate the whole person, and in doing so, value the diversity of different voices from different locations and cultures. We believe in the importance of cooperation and community, and believe that the proper end of leadership is the service to others. Our history is made up of the people who have attended Augustana in all of its iterations. We hope that you have enjoyed and learned from your time here as much as we have. Little bonus footage for the director's cut. Here we have one of those local residents we all remember so fondly. Nice little cameo by one of our dear residents. Say cheese.